Galen Patterson, Midwest Muscle, here with Mike Superhuman Neumann from Inside Natural Bodybuilding. We're going to do a little recapping of some shows. I was at the Chi-Town Showdown. You had the one in Minnesota. Great shows. Now, they're packing these shows in. We're getting over 100 competitors for our area, and I know that's always a big show up there. I'll start with the Chi-Town Showdown. Joe Perez, I mean, he's always coming with these things that are just – he's going over the top with how he's doing. Setting it up real nice. The sword's off the chain. I can't even explain it. Now he's going with the trophies even better. I mean, there were some guys that were in the audience that probably could have won on stage, but they just chose not to compete. Big show, big names, big guys. I mean, it was some packed I mean, the lineup, first through five, I couldn't call it. I didn't know how it was going to run. I mean, you'll see the pictures and you'll see what I'm talking about. But first, we'll go with the Minnesota. What did you think happened up there?
Well, I was at the NAMBF Natural Mr. and Miss Minnesota. A lot of top amateurs there, and that was held in conjunction with the IFPA Pro North American. 300 entries there in Callister brought into this show. That included crossovers, I believe, but 300 entries total, which is huge. It's a Minnesota state record. It's a national level state record, actually. And it was a big quality show. Larry Stringer ended up winning the overall. Lamar Stringer won the overall men's open. There were some good IFPA pros. Mary Saligny is a new female pro to be on the lookout for. In fact, if she would have did the pro division, she would have won the whole thing. Katie Wayman-White did drop out of the show due to a knee injury a week out, so she wasn't able to compete. There were still I think there were still 7 female pros on top of that. But new IFPA pro Mary Saligny, she got a pro card at the Natural Miss Minnesota. She would have won the pro division. So look out for Mary Saligny in the female pro circuit. And in the pro men, a guy that won the OCB Midwest States in the past, Sam Okinola, he ended up taking the whole thing, and he was the standout. I mean, there were some big names in this show. It was hard to judge. 14 pro men total. Only the top 7 got the Orton Cup pro, qualification, but there were 8 pro men that could have went to the Orton Cup. In most shows, they would have qualified. But guys like Craig Toth were in this show. Terry the Tower Starks was in this show. Jason Brew, Benny Mobley, Brian Noah was in this show. There were some top caliber athletes in this show, but when it came out in the end, Sam Okinola stood out. He had the best package of conditioning, shape, symmetry, and size. Not the biggest guy, not the most conditioned, but had the overall package. And it was pretty obvious he was a clear-cut winner when they all stepped on stage. Craig Toth, I seen for the first time as well. He was a massive physical presence as well. And I'll tell you what, Stephanie Casella won the pro figure division in dominant fashion. Melissa Johnson was also in this one, and Kristen Campbell was in this one as well. That was your top 3. Kristen Campbell, she won the OCB Midwest States a few years back as well. Mm-hmm. She's a top pro, had some of the best thighs in the show, good outer quad sweep. Kristen Campbell's established herself as a top pro, but on this day, Stephanie Casella took home the overall title of Pro North American Champion in dominant fashion. The videos are up on my YouTube channel right now. Type in Inside Natural Bodybuilding on YouTube. You'll see what I'm talking about. It was a clear cut. And if Stephanie Casella brings the same package to the Orton Cup that she brought this past weekend to the North American, she's going to be a threat to win the Orton Cup title.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a stacked deck as well. Now, I got to see Sam over at the Cal Spring Naturals for OCB. Ray Bukowski had his thing, and Doris, Haberdine, and Sam were in there, and they were putting in some work there. So I had a feeling he had something in mind. He didn't say that he was going to be doing the Minnesota, but, man, they were really throwing down in there. And you get Doris, he's going to push you anyway.
Yeah, Doris, congratulations on moving to Florida, Ryan Doris. I just heard. I had a good talk with Sam this weekend. I got an interview with Sam after the show. Sam's done with school now. He's graduated from college, and he's going to be busy this year on the pro circuit, so look for Sam in a few more shows this coming year. He's going to be a force all year long in the natural pro bodybuilding circuit.
All right. Well, the Chi-Town Showdown was a more local show, and it was one of the biggest this year. He's been growing year after year, and he's actually bringing in the local competitors as well as out of state. We had some from as far as Pennsylvania, Ohio. I think one even came from New York. We had a policeman in training that actually stepped on stage, and she just won, just hands down. Miss Rose, you did your thing. And a fella named Terrence Terrell, this guy has one of the smallest waists I've ever seen stepping on stage with that kind of chest size. He just blew everyone away. He didn't have any, basically everything was just on point. When you get somebody stepping from the local area that just comes out of nowhere, lets you know he was doing some underground work. He actually worked with the ABA winner overall last year, so he had a good pedigree, and he actually helped train the men's physique winner overall. These guys came with some packages that I have yet to see as far as chest size to waist level, just out of this world.
Yeah, I love what Joe Perez is doing, promoting in the Chicagoland area. The Chi-Town Showdown is one of the more popular shows in the state. I wish I could have been there, but Aaron Callister wanted me to come out to shoot my videos in Minnesota, so I had to be there. Hopefully next year I can make the Chi-Town Showdown, so Joe, keep me in mind for next year. And I like what he does. He gives back to the athletes, gives back to the competitors. You can see that through the awards he hands out, and all the money that he makes off the show goes back into next year's show. So good work, Joe Perez.
Now, we've got a local guy ourselves, which is actually your Fit Body You partner, Dave Yates. He has a show coming up, 21 years of the Great Lakes Supernatural.
Yeah, October 18th, that show's coming up right here in Bradley, Illinois. So when you guys are in town, either watching, spectating, competing, you got to come to Fit Body U. Fit Body U is only going to be a few minutes away from where the show is going to be on October 18th, so you guys can all get your day passes here, and it's going to be the gym to come to, that's for sure. It's an IFPA Pro Qualifier on October 18th, so if you guys are thinking about competing or if you're already in shape, now is a great time to start your pre-contest diets, get your prep coaches ready, notify them that you want to do the Great Lakes Supernatural Muscle Classic on October 18th.
Now, honestly, you're not kidding when you say it's real close, because it's basically right down the street.
Oh, yeah, it's right in the area. Dave Yates brought bodybuilding to the area 21 years ago. In fact, because of Dave Yates, a lot of us got involved in competing in bodybuilding competition. I wouldn't have won the Mr. Illinois title 2 years ago if Dave Yates wouldn't have brought that show to the area. And so because of Dave, a lot of people have gotten their start in bodybuilding competition because he brought Bradley, Bourbonnais, Illinois on the map for competitive bodybuilding.
And he also, he's one of the people that, like you said, has been driven to give back. And as he's given back, he's actually promoted so well that he brought us up where it was understood that you didn't have to be, on anything, and you could do it naturally, and you could be competitive as a natural, and you could actually train the body to actually look like something more than what you're used to seeing in the mirror.
Yeah, for sure. Even 21 years ago, before natural bodybuilding even started getting really big, back then it was just WMBF and the Natural Bodybuilding and Fitness magazine. Even back then, Dave chose to go the natural route and do natural bodybuilding. And, actually that's how I got my start as well, because I started expediting shows, I think probably about 10 years ago or so. And I expedite his 2 shows a year. Then other promoters would see what I was doing. I'd expedite their shows. I was an expediter for years, for 5-6 years. And then one day the MC backed out, and Dave Yates is like, do you have anybody that you think can MC my show for me? I'm like, yeah, I'll MC your show for you. And it's been nonstop for MCing gigs. That was 4 years ago, and I've been nonstop 20 shows a year ever since.
You gotta love that. Well, I gotta say that if he wasn't doing what he's doing, I sure wouldn't be where I am, because when you got somebody that can be in your corner and support you and know how to support you, like you were always telling me, you wheel seal the deal, you got to bring your legs up. Everything was like a supporting. And like I said, if iron sharpens iron, it can get pretty sharp. And if you lift an iron as you're doing it, you can cut pretty good. And it cuts to the heart with what you're doing. When you're bringing now, Fit Body U is going to be coming up, going to be in the area, actually train people get the knowledge that needs to happen, because like I said, bro science hopefully will die very soon, and we can just kill it and keep it dead, and it won't be like a vampire and keep coming back. I can't even imagine 3 years ago me stepping on stage and singing a national anthem in a competitor's just Speedo. So that's just shit to let you know that we can overcome all kind of obstacles. You guys have been supporting me. I always be thankful for that. The fact that you're actually doing your own thing with Fit Body U actually is going to open up all kinds of doors, because that mentality that you have actually grows and increases when you have that freedom to expand. And being Fit Body U, having Dave Yates, the Great Lakes Supernatural in this area, it's going to be super big, because now the gym is right down the street. They can't get lost. The hotels are right here. Yeah. Everything's so close to now. This show is actually going to grow exponentially. Yeah,
you guys got to check out Fit Body U. It's not just a gym with equipment in it in which we charge a monthly rate. Those days are over. People are actually going to learn. All members of Fit Body U will learn how to use the gym so they can keep coming back for more. One more show I wanted to bring up. If you competitors are in shape right now at this current moment, a big show is coming up, one of the best shows in the Midwest. The NAMBF St. Louis Naturals coming up. That's held in conjunction with the IFPA Pro Masters Cup. So there's a pro show there as well. I will be emceeing that show. Keith Hunter always was on the top of the line show. And when I got involved in bodybuilding when I was 17 years old, Keith Hunter was the first guy I met. I walked into the gym after prejudging, and there was Keith Hunter repping something out at the place called The Gym. And I met Keith Hunter back then, and he's still going at it years later. That's another guy who's hardest in the game. He's got the desire for it, and he puts on some good natural bodybuilding shows. That's June 28th in St. Louis, Missouri. Check out the OCBwebsite.com.